Anyone who knows of Japanese architecture must surely know of the shoji. Shoji is that lattice screen covered with washi, which is white, hard Japanese paper. Shoji is what you see over windows and sliding doors. It is definitely quintessential Japanese architecture. But what many people don't know is if that a shoji screen is left uncared for, that over time, as it begins to fray and become full of holes, it can become inhabited by a spirit. The spirit is known as Mokumokuren. Mokumokuren is a spirit in a form of numerous eyes that fill the screen of a shoji, or rather an old worn-out shoji. It can be rather unnerving at night to wake up in an old building and find eyes just staring at you. Now some say that the Mokumokuren is harmless and all they do is stare, but other stories say bad things can happen to those that stay in an area where Mokumokuren has taken up residence. One story that I heard involved a village some centuries ago where the temple outside of the village had fallen into disuse and no one lived there. Over time, it began to rot and fall away. Now, the people avoided that temple. For why, they could not say. Just a feeling of unease came over them. No one was sure exactly when this occurred, but over time people would not want to be in that area when nightfall came. The young men of the village, however, being full of bravery or foolishness, would often try to bet or dare each other to stay a night in that temple. But none of them were brave or foolish enough to take up that bet. Some might go up there and stay for an hour, but most would find their courage evaporating and leave quickly. However, one time, one of the young men, perhaps fortified with more sake than courage, he decided he would take up that bet, that dare. And he decided he would go to that temple and stay the whole night. And so, with his friends, they went to that temple, and he climbed the hill that the temple was on, while his friends stayed at the bottom. When he arrived at the temple, there was nothing there. And he thought the whole thing was foolish. And he thought this would be an easy bet to win. He made his betting, drank some more sake, and fell asleep. Sometime in the night, he woke up. And from what it is believed happened, he saw all around him, where the shoji screens were, numerous glowing eyes staring at him. What is for certain, though, is his friends down below heard their friends scream aloud, saying, "The eyes! The eyes!" But they didn't dare go up the hill. All they heard was they heard a thrashing and the sound of shoji screens falling, but none of them left their spot. They were terrified. Finally, the day dawned, and they slowly made their way up to the hill to the old temple. When they got there, there was no sign of their friend. His bedding and his bedding clothes were ripped apart and scattered around, but there was no other sign of him. But one man found a dirty rag in a corner, and when he unwrapped that rag, he screamed and ran from the temple. The other men rushed over to see what it was that frightened him so, and when they looked inside the rag, they too screamed and ran from the temple, because in that rag was a pair of human eyes, no doubt that of their friend. And no one ever went back to that temple again.